Hi everybody, this is Boog S Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the new NECA TMNT The Last Ronin Ultimate Leonardo figure. So before we take a look at Leonardo, let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with a set of fisted hands. While switching these hands out, a bunch of the paint is chipping off of these. You can see that the peg is cast in like this off-white color as opposed to the color that the wrappings are. And yeah, this is chipping really badly. All of the paint that was on this peg has completely chipped off, and it's starting to chip off on the joint right there. And this is the first time I've actually had these on. I haven't had these fisted hands on except for in the beginning of this video. So that is unfortunate. You can see a bit of it's flaking off on my fingers. I'm spinning it around there. Up next, he comes with a set of open hands. Up next, he comes with this set of hands. They're not quite gripping hands, and they're not quite open hands either. They're kind of in between. And he does come with these throwing knives, and these are the hands that I use for the throwing knives to put in between the fingers, and that actually stays really well. In between me changing the hands out, that knife actually stayed in there, so that's pretty cool. He also has storage for the other 4 that he comes with. I actually just left them on his belt because I know they're so tiny that I would lose them. But I do think it's really nice that these hands are tight enough that you can actually get them in between his fingers and it will stay there. I think that's very cool. Up next, of course, he comes with his accessory holding hands and his swords. They're looking nice and they're painted very nicely. The one weird thing is on the left hand, you can see some yellow paint over top of his knuckles, or it's like scuffs. The only yellow on this figure is right here on the swords, but I haven't had him anywhere near his knuckles here, so that's a bit weird. He does have storage on the back of his outfit for the swords. They go through this piece of fabric right here, and then underneath on these loops, and that looks really good, but it does bend them. You can see how the swords are slightly curving, and these are really thin, so I'm definitely not going to leave them like that. I suppose you could, well, even having them like that, they're still bending just a little bit. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to leave these back here for fear of them breaking, so that's a bit unfortunate. Up next, he comes with the standard head sculpt. This is more of a stern expression, and I love the way this is painted. The black lines outlining the bandana, and right here by the brows, that looks really nice. This is a really cool looking head sculpt. And finally, he comes with this angry head sculpt where you can see him gritting his teeth. And each of the teeth are sculpted really well and have some nice black paint in between them. This one actually sits up a little farther on the peg so you can see his expression. So this is definitely the head sculpt I prefer to leave on the figure. It looks really nice. And of course, both of these figures have swivel back here at the bandana, so that can swivel all the way around, so that's pretty cool. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the figure. This has to be one of my favorite designs from the Last Ronin comic, which all of the turtles' designs look really cool. I just love how their outfits look, how it kind of looks tactical. The piece of fabric around his neck right here is sculpted really nicely. The wrinkles actually look realistic. It's cast in a light brown color, has this very nice dark brown wash over top of it, as well as some black painted in the wrinkles right there for the lines. That looks really good. It has some very awesome sculpt and paint detail to it. I especially love the holes right here where he puts his sword through to the loops back here. The way the material looks like it's ripped, that also looks realistic. NECA did a really good job on that. You can see the detail on the back right here. Some more of that very awesome wash and the black painted lines. That looks really good. You get enough pouches on this figure to make Rob Liefeld jealous. All the pouches have a dark brown wash to them, and then all of the lines right here are painted in black, and that looks really good. This figure just has such amazing sculpt and paint detail. The only place where it's not painted as well is right here on the strap. The red and the black lines right here are painted really nice, but the gray is just done really sloppy. You can see how this collar, I think it's like a tan kind of collar, is showing through right here. So yeah, the only place where the paint is bad is right here. It's pretty sloppy right there, but other than that, the paint on this looks very nice. You can see all the straps here on his side painted and sculpted really nicely. That looks very cool. You get some black lines painted here for the muscles on the arms. Some excellent paint detail to the wrappings on his arms. I love that. But the one noticeable thing is the pegs are a noticeably different color. That really does bother me, just like with the hands. You can see all of the paint that's chipped off this figure with me posing it around, and that is a bit unfortunate. You also, when you're switching the hands out, you do have to be careful of moving this piece right here, this forearm guard, because it is a separate piece, and mine has been shifting up and down like crazy. It does have some nice sculpt detail though, and a nice dark brown wash. Even the pants have a wash. They're done in this light gray color, and I think it's a black wash that's over top of it, but it brings the details out really nicely, especially here in the sculpted wrinkles. That looks really good. Even the stitch work on the sides looks really nice. NECA always does very, very awesome on all of their stuff, but they really go above and beyond with the turtles. Not only are these Last Ronin designs really cool in the comics, but they translated them really well to figure form. The wrappings down here on his feet are sculpted very nicely. You get some black lines painted on the wrappings themselves, and they have a bit of a wash to them. I can't tell what kind of a wash it is, but it does have a wash that brings the sculpted details out very nicely. And then looking at the bottoms of the feet, even the bottoms here have some good sculpt and paint detail. You can see the continued sculpt of the wrappings right here, as well as a wash. So yeah, even the bottom of this figure looks really nice. The only real complaint that I have with this is that the arms do not go down all the way. They are always going to be stuck out like this. I can't remember what other Last Ronin figure it was, but I also had an issue with another figure like that the arms can't go all the way down. You might be able to mod it out a little bit if you cut some of the plastic right here, but yeah, I don't know if I want to try that. It is unfortunate though that the arms can't quite go down all the way. But honestly, that's a small nitpick. The figure is great aside from that. It looks great and it has some awesome sculpt and paint detail to it. So now let's go ahead and go over the articulation. So he has a ball jointed head that can look up very slightly. The bandana does end up hitting right back here in this wrinkle, so he can't quite look up all the way. He can look down all the way. You can swivel the bandana all the way around right here. He has shoulders that can move all the way out. He has some very nice articulation there. Even the shoulder pad on this side doesn't hinder the articulation. He has a swivel at the bicep, double jointed elbows that can bend in that far. Let me move that a little more. They can bend in all the way. He has a swivel at the wrist that can move side to side and up and down. But like I said, if you move it, you're going to start chipping that paint. Honestly, even if you just switch the hands out, you're going to start chipping that paint. He has a ball jointed waist that can move up and down very slightly. He can move side to side very nicely. He has ball jointed hips that can do a complete split. He can kick forward that far. He can kick back all the way. He has an excellent thigh swivel, double jointed knees that can move back that far, and ankles that can move down all the way, up all the way, and a nice ankle rocker. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to the football. Here he is next to Karai. Here he is next to the Last Ronin. And finally, here Leonardo is next to all of his brothers from the Last Ronin series. And I have to say, all of these turtles next to each other look so sick. These are honestly probably my favorite turtle comic designs. I just absolutely love the designs, and NECA really nailed all of them. Looking at them all together, they look phenomenal. So overall, I would highly recommend picking this up because NECA did an outstanding job yet again on this Last Ronin figure. It is an incredible figure and the sculpt and paint detail is out of this world. So yeah, definitely don't miss out on that. I also have Splinter. I'll probably be reviewing him next week, so definitely stay tuned for that one. I'm really excited to review him. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.